Welcome back. There's death, there's taxes, and then there's college tuition. The price of a four-year degree has marched steadily upward now for decades. Add to that the confusing mix of federal, state, institutional, and private financial aid. And Susan Simon will get some answers about the best way to save for your child's college education.
A college degree may be a step on the path to success, but it's more expensive than ever. Tuition and fees at most American colleges are surging faster than inflation. At UW-Madison, in-state students will pay nearly $26,000 this year.
It still has a great deal of value as long as kids use it appropriately and get a degree that has some type of economic payoff. Sadly, you can go to an expensive liberal arts school and get a degree in philosophy, but that's probably not a great financial investment for
Kevin McKinley is a registered investment advisor and the owner of McKinley Money LLC in Madison and Eau Claire. He hosts a call-in show on Wisconsin Public Radio, and he is the father of a college freshman.
It's better to save a little early than a lot later, and it's very important to save. What parents need to know, though, is they don't need to come up with the entire dollar amount the day their kid graduates from high school.
How do you know how much to save?
As much as you can. Again, try to save enough to cover 1 year, and know that through financial aid, loans, kid earnings, your own earnings while the kid is in school, that'll be enough to hopefully cover the second, third, and fourth years. Usually $100 to $200 a month will be sufficient enough to keep pace with inflation of rising college expenses, and that's usually as much as most people can afford. But parents should also know that they should also save money for their own retirement as well. They shouldn't sacrifice their retirement for their kids' college, because you can borrow money to go to college, but you can't borrow money to retire.
Laura Brown and her husband Jeb are raising 3 children, 8-year-old Talon and 5-year-old twins Wyatt and Emerson. Are you thinking about college yet, or is that not even on your radar?
It's on my radar, but just a little blip.
Even with good jobs as physician's assistants, it's still a challenge to meet everyday needs with plans for the future. But what have you and your husband done to prepare for your kids for college?
So we do have EdVest accounts for them, and then we did a return of premium account with our life insurance.
Okay. Do you feel like you're doing the right thing, or do you have confusion about it?
So there's a lot of confusion, and it's funny that we're meeting now because next week I'm meeting with a financial advisor, and he's going to help us develop that plan.
And what is your #1 question for him?
How are we going to do this?
Kevin says the Browns are off to a good start with a $529 college savings plan known as EdVest.
They get a small tax break on their deposits. They keep entire control over the money. Any earnings are sheltered from taxation, and any qualified withdrawals are tax-free. And if the kid doesn't go to school, the parents can do something else with it, use it for another child, or if they pull the money out and just buy a boat or something, they have to pay taxes and penalties on the earnings, but they still get to decide what to do with the money.
And Kevin says all families, if they need money, should take a subsidized or unsubsidized federal student loan.
A lot of people worry because they hear that the median amount of money owed by four-year school graduates right now is somewhere around $30,000. That sounds like a ton of money, but what they don't realize is that you can pay off a $30,000 loan over 10 years by making 1% of the original balance each month. So a $30,000 loan costs about $300 per month to pay off over 10 years.
What are some of the other mistakes that parents make when they're trying to plan for the future?
They have a hard time saying no to their child when their child wants to go to a very expensive school. A lot of us went through school in 5 or 6 or 7 years. We took it half-time while we worked. We borrowed money to do it. We lived in terrible places while we were there, and we managed to survive. And I think we tend to kind of we want to protect our kids from that type of hardship, but sometimes that can be good for them, especially if it's temporary and it leads to a higher income and a better life down the road.
Susan Simon reporting. Kevin has a lot more information about college savings at his website, onyourmoney.com. He discusses financial matters every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on the Joy Cardine Show. That's on Wisconsin Public Radio.